GST was one thing that the whole automobile industry and the lobby group SIAM was saying was going to be good for the auto industry. But the month of June, if anything, was a blip, because we saw passenger vehicle sales, passenger car sales, and even utility vehicle sales fall by as much as 11%. We have with us the Deputy Director General of SIAM, Mr. Sugato Sen, to speak to us about what happened there. So was that demand being delayed, or was that a blip? The month of June, suddenly we saw passenger car sales, utility vehicle sales just crash by 11%. Was that just demand being delayed? Could you take us through that?
It's not a crash at all. I think you have to understand that we are reporting not the retail sales but the wholesale sale. What was happening was the dealers, they did not want to carry a lot of stock to the GST era, because while the government had said that they will compensate for the excise duty paid, there were few cesses which are there for which no clarity is there. So those are going to have a huge negative impact on the profitability of the dealers. So what they have done is, they have, on the one hand, they have tried to sell vehicles as much as possible through discounts and through other means and eliminate the stock. And now the destocking had happened. We are expecting that from next month onwards, I mean from July onwards, we are going to have restocking. So I am not at all worried about what is going to happen in the future.
Right, so but why was only the four-wheeler passenger vehicle market impacted? Because commercial vehicles managed to break even, two-wheeler sales were a little over a growth of around 4%. Why was it only cars that were impacted? Why were dispatches of only cars halted by companies?
Because the cars attract a lot of duties which are, and the car values are also very high. So even a 1%, if you have to compromise, that means a huge money. Similarly, if you look at the commercial vehicles, the heavy and medium and heavy commercial vehicles, they also have become negative. I mean, they have been negative in the past also. This month also they are negative. So it's only the two-wheelers, three-wheelers and the R which have been able to manage, and they have been, there was lifting of vehicles by the dealership. But for passenger vehicles, we see that the wholesale sale had really got impacted.
But sir, now going ahead, considering the tax rates for most categories have come down marginally, for some more than marginally, do you see sales coming back now?
Yeah, definitely.
Going strong?
Definitely the sale is going to come back. We have been saying from the beginning that with GST, definitely the auto industry is going to gain. We have passed on the benefits. All the companies have already announced reduction in the prices. And I'm sure that that will stimulate the market. Customers will come and buy with better monsoon and better finance rates and all. We feel that auto industry should perform better this year.
Perform better, yes sir. But the initial months of GST, now we were speaking a while back also, and you spoke to us about some concerns that the auto industry has, that SIAM has, with respect to some changes in rates, some rates not falling as the industry would have hoped for them to fall. Could you brief us about some of those major challenges right now, including some of which you've already spoken to the government about?
No, one is the rate for hybrid vehicles and rate for, I don't know why they have also introduced this concept of fuel cell vehicles, which have been put at 15% cess category. That is something which we had not anticipated. We feel that hybrid vehicle, fuel cell vehicles are basically complete electric vehicles. So why they are there is really, we don't know why. In terms of hybrid vehicles, we had been saying, SIAM has been saying that these vehicles are the first steps towards electrification of vehicles. Government of India already has announced about a huge plan for electrification of vehicles. If you don't encourage hybrid vehicles also to sell in the market, that will be a disadvantage for Indian automotive industry to move straight to electric vehicles, which need a whole host of infrastructural support. Hybrid vehicles don't need any infrastructural support. I mean, they can be on their own. The problem is, I think, in perception. There are different types of hybrids. Some are mild, some are strong, some are plug-in. So I think what is playing in the mind of the government is that why should all these vehicles which have differential contribution towards greening should get the same benefit?
Right.
So I think the solution is not to impose cess at the highest level, but they could have given a graded kind of cess so that the vehicles which are giving you the best results, getting more in terms of incentive or less in terms of tax, and the vehicles which are not really very fuel efficient or not is they are not giving you much of additional fuel efficiency, they can be levied at a higher cess rate. That kind of system can be developed to sort out this problem of perception.
So what is the demand exactly that SIAM has put forward in terms of numbers? If you could tell us, it's 28 plus 15 right now. What is SIAM asking?
We have said this 28 plus 15 should be reconsidered. And we have been saying that all categories of hybrid vehicles, the duty should be 10 percentage point less than the base rate. So if the base rate for a particular category of vehicle is 28%, then a hybrid of that category should be 18%. So for instance, for a bus or a small car, we have said that if the duty is 28%, the rate should be 18%. For a higher, the larger vehicle, we are saying 43% if it's your total duty, then 43 minus 10 should be the rate of hybrid vehicles. But if the government wants to introduce staggered rates also, differential rates, that is also okay. But not giving anything, because hybrid vehicles cost more than a conventional vehicle.
Right.
These vehicles have a IC engine also, plus a electrical full system, a battery, motor, a controller, everything. So definitely, unless you give some incentive to defray that additional cost, these vehicles will not sell. Because if I have, let's say, an Ertiga normal and an Ertiga hybrid, the Ertiga hybrid cost is more.
Right.
So that has to be defrayed. So that is what we have been saying.
So the last point of this is, imagining a situation if the government were not to concede and keep the tax rates as they are right now. Do you see a situation where companies, and Mahindra, the chairman, Mr. Anand Mahindra, has gone on record to say that they might consider stopping the micro-hybrid in the Scorpio. Do you see a situation where companies will just stop making hybrids in India if the tax rates aren't brought down?
That will depend on the companies. I mean, every company will devise their own strategies and they will enter the market in that way.